What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Magic Dads podcast. My name is Leslie, joined here by 100 Card Hero and Pinty Het. What's up, dude?
Hey, that's me. I am the Pinty Het.
You are.
How's it going?
I'm a hero.
And the 100 Card Hero.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Been a snowy day.
Dude,
you guys enjoying this?
It's been a snowy week. How much snow have we gotten this week? Like 2 feet?
17 inches so far.
I think he was saying just over 20.
Yeah.
I've had enough of winter already.
18 inches in Urbandale. Yeah, it's. I think I was talking to my wife and I was like, is it close enough for me to just say that I'm done with winter now? Like,
I love this. You know, this comes in and then I just don't want to be outside anymore. I don't care if I work all the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you'll be at work until April.
That's true.
Yeah.
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 Hey, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn notifications on so that we get to annoy you every time we upload a video. There's a link to our Patreon down in the description of this video. Go there, check out all of our extra content. There's I've been dropping a lot of really fun stuff over the last week, and when the main body of our Discord sees it, I hope that it's really, really well received. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Y'all will see it in time. But only the patrons have seen it so far. So
yeah.
Real quick, before we get started with today's topic, which is the 2024 points changes effective January 1st. I want to highlight, so we've been doing the Maple Cup, right? We're in the middle of week 2 right now. Week 1 is done.
Yeah.
So this is our Canadian Highlander League that we've been running here out of Game Castle. And we've got 10 players, and the winners of our pods for week 1 were Jake Scott playing the Jund Depths or the Jund Lands deck.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that a lot more later on in the podcast when we talk about the points changes. And then Ryan Favor playing Mono Red Aggro.
Shocking no one.
Dude is running on a hot
Shocking everyone.
Running on a hot streak. He made the finals of that tournament in Cedar Rapids in December.
Yeah.
And then, won his pod last week. And then last, but certainly not least, is Mitch Keller playing Stompy.
Yeah, Blue-White Chops.
Yeah.
Very good player. Another of our finalists from the year end.
Yeah. We had 10 players, 10 different archetypes. So if you're one of the people that's on the fence about playing Canadian Highlander, I mean, you can literally play whatever you want and have good success for it. So
yeah, Maple Cup, super fun. The game store was just hopping on Sunday.
Yeah,
there was a lot of folks
in there. We had the stream going. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of the best people. It was great.
Yeah,
and me.
Oh, stop.
Oh.
Anything else you guys want to say about the Maple Cup before we move into the main body of this podcast?
Really enjoyed it so far.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to week 2. Hopefully the snow kind of calms down a little bit. We can make it out to the game store on Sunday.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I think even if you can't, the amount of content coming out live on Sundays and then just over the course of the week over YouTube.
Yeah,
everybody's benefiting. Whether you're in the Maple Cup or not, you should be paying attention.
Yeah. Canadian Highlander everywhere. We're coming for you. So, on December 29th of 2023, so the very last minute last year, the Canadian Highlander Council announced a massive points update to the format that went into effect on January 1st. So it was just in time for the first week of the Maple Cup to start, and it kind of came out of the nowhere. So they used to build up to it quite a bit. You know, we would have these huge community discussions in the Discord, and we all knew when the points change was coming, like for several weeks in advance. And this one just kind of came out of nowhere. In fact, I was literally drafting a tweet about points changes that I thought would be good for the format, and Stefan messaged me and was like, "Hey, this just happened." And I was like, "Bro."
I believe what happened was I messaged you. I posted to the Discord without sourcing it. Because I had saw it posted and I was like scrambling for a source, but I wanted people to see it because it was Friday night. I couldn't make it out that night. It just got posted and I was like, hey, listen. Oh, I had to leave F&M early because one of my kiddos was sick. And that's the night that the points update rolled out.
Yep.
And I was like, message the group, and everybody's like, what's the source on this? And I'm like, stand by. I have to dig this up now.
You're like driving and hot tweeting at the same time.
Yeah, it was like that fourth person where I heard it from another person who heard it from another person. I'm just like, hang on.
Yeah, so massive points change. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. When was the last time that 9 cards got changed in any format ever?
I cannot recall the last time that a points this big of a points change happened.
So yeah, typically it's just, I mean, it's not just for Canadian Highlanders. Like any format, usually it's just 1, 2, maybe 3 cards, but 9.
Yeah,
crazy. So those points changes are as follows. Ancestral Recall went up a point from 7 to 8 points now.
First 8-pointer.
Birthing, yeah, it is the first 8-pointer. Birthing Pod went from 1 point down to 0 points. Gifts Ungiven went from 2 points down to 1 point. Umezawa's Jite went from 2 points down to 1 point. Spellseeker went from 3 points down to 2 points.
Yep.
Fourth Aerolingus went from 0 to 1 point.
Yep.
Natural Order from 3 down to 2. Demonic Tutor from 4 down to 3. And Strip Mine from 3 down to 2.
A lot of down points.
It's they're all 1 point changes, so they're just like small modifications. Jeremiah, you have been talking in the last several weeks quite a bit about, just kind of shaking the format up. Like, you don't necessarily care what gets changed. It's just like, we need something new. And this is like kind of like the best version of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, freed up a lot of decks, pinned down a few decks, just exactly what you want. Maybe get people off a deck that they've been playing for a year, shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, it's also like the timing of it is like
for
it's
us,
very good for us locally, for sure.
Yeah. I do want to say that this is sort of I have been calling for Mox to 4 as a mostly as a way for people to consider other cards in place of Moxen in your mid-range spreads. And I think the other option was what they went with, which is to entice people to play other points because they are so attractively costed now. Sure. The only cards that increased were stuff that are basically playable in like control decks ish. Obviously, Ancestral Recall is like the big one, but like Fourth Aerolingus is a finisher, and those control decks is also kind of nutter butters. But everything else that went down is just sort of like mid-range good things. I really like what we're doing now.
There's 4 or 5 very powerful tutors in there between Gifts Ungiven, Birthing Pod, Spellseeker, Natural Order, Demonic Tutor. There's 5 very powerful tutors in there. And those have a lot of applications to many different decks.
It's weird to think that Demonic Tutor is 1 point better than Vampiric Tutor now.
Yeah,
we'll see how it plays out. Maybe it doesn't sit there forever. I think
that honestly, Demonic Tutor going down to 3 shocked me more than Recall to 8. We've been playing this format for years at this point, and have not had a 8-point card yet. And Recall is the one that finally got the bullet, and I'm not surprised at all.
No.
But yeah, Demonic Tutor down to 3 is wild.
Yeah,
because you can play it with a 7-point card now. Your points can be DT Time Lock, DT Lotus.
Yeah, not DT Recall.
Right.
It maybe it comes back to the Rules Council trying to put a quash on some of the initiative type stuff by pushing combo harder. That's kind of what it feels like to me.
Yeah, because combo decks are pretty well positioned against those decks.
Oh yeah,
and even Recall to 8, I think is not a reflection of Recall. It's a reflection of the other blue cards that are at 1 point.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that you just don't get as many of the 1 point blue cards without actually raising the points on those specifically.
Right.
Yeah, sort of the opposite direction as the Moxen, where like we can't really entice people to not play Recall because Recall is Recall. So we have to like, instead of enticing them with like all these cool blue 1 pointed cards, everybody's just going to ignore those if Recall is still there at 7. So what if we make it 8? So now you have to make a real choice.
a lot of the the crossover players that we've managed to pull into Canlander have been previous CDH players.
Yeah,
I think this points change is probably pretty attractive to those people.
I agree. Yeah.
So hopefully we see some fruits of the changes there.
Absolutely. So biggest winners and loser.
Okay.
From these, first on the list of biggest winners is Seeker Walk. That deck got 2 points, and it lost a point from Spellseeker, and it lost a point from Birthing Pod.
Yeah, it never played Birthing Pod before, but it always wanted it. It always looked wistfully at it and was like, oh,
right.
If
so
only.
The deck's points before were Time Walk and Spellseeker, and that was 10.
Yes.
So now Time Walk and Spellseeker is 9, so they get 1 more point. And Birthing Pod means being at 0 means they get 2 more points. So our local Seeker Walk player Luke Sheely opted for a
survival of the fittest. Yeah.
Last year,
he and I discussed that pretty extensively.
Yeah. Once again, that's a card that just makes sense, right? Like that card is basically a 1-card combo in that deck. You
only need to activate it once.
Yeah. If you've got the survival and a creature in hand to pitch, you can go get the spell secret. If you have 6 mana, you just win the game on the spot, right?
Yeah. It's very good.
I mean, I think also the deck could just pivot into Mystical Tutor too, in that spot. I think it's probably pretty good there too.
Sure.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that, but yeah, just getting Time Walk sometimes will win you the game. You get that second combat step, and that's
or the Neoform, or the whatever piece it is you need to throw it all together.
Or Lava Axe your opponent with the initiative.
Yeah, and they have so many come into play draw card creatures that when they put it on top, a lot of times they can draw it right away. So yeah,
100%. Next on the list of biggest winners is the Death and Taxes deck. So. This one, I think, I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it, but I'm hyped for this because so with Death and Taxes decks, you see a lot of variety in spreads.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times you see like the Mox Pearl Soul Ring +3 spread, or you see. I like Travis's spread. Travis has both Strip Mine and Umezawa's Jite, and we talked about this on a podcast, I don't know, at some point in time last year, about how Travis is playing he's playing really, really proactive points.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, he's playing the points that get you dead, so that when he draws his points, like, those are the most powerful cards in his deck. He's not looking to, crank out threats faster by playing fast mana, even though he was playing Mox Pearl. What he's really looking to do is, like, you draw the point, your opponent dies, right? So Travis's point spread in particular got 2 points from Umezawa's Jite and Strip Mine. So those two being just 3 together means that his deck can now play Mox Pearl, Soul Ring, Umezawa's Jite, Strip Mine.
Yeah.
And that is a hot point spread.
His deck is such that he doesn't really need all of the points. He had Strip Mine because he didn't need 3 extra points, and he just wanted a second copy of Wasteland.
Right.
Just to like deal with stuff or put people off of mana and buy the extra turn to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, he just get him dead.
Around that same time, he also got the addition of Samwise the Stout-Hearted to the deck, which, as Jeremiah will tell you, plays very, very well with cards like Caracas, with cards like Strip Mine, Wasteland, etc. Like those are all cards that deck already has in them, and you're just exploding, with value at this point. Like,
you don't need to strip block him. You need to strip mine him twice.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. You don't have to play it every turn. Just twice is good. That the deck is still. I think it's fine for Death and Taxes to always be good.
Yeah, I want Death and Taxes to always be good. That seems indicative of a healthy meta to me.
I think probably regardless of what you want, it always will be. Making your opponent's stuff cost more when they're trying to go faster.
Yeah,
it's just good. But
there's definitely, I think, an argument to be made for a Death and Taxes spread that is just Black Lotus, Strip Mine, Jite now. I'm always an advocate for Black Lotus, though.
I think Lotus is probably pretty good. I just think that Crypt is essentially the same thing in their deck. I think the most powerful drops are 3 drops. So
I don't know, man.
4 is not necessary.
It's definitely a call. It depends on how pip dense you are, I think, and what your curve looks like. Travis's deck is a little higher on the curve, and so I think
he's got that like medium white aspect to it, where he has like the Stone Hero Giant and the
Yeah, I like his deck.
I still think he'd rather have a persistent mana threat, like
Sure.
mana rock, but I don't know. I mean,
I'll never stop trying to sell people on Black Lotus. I will continue to do that until the day I die.
put it to 8.
What?
Make it so it can't be played with Breach.
Make Breach 4 then. I'm like Marge Simpson with the Black Lotus. I just think it's neat.
Yeah.
Black Lotus equals potato.
Other winners?
Yeah,
the
the last one that I have on the list of biggest winners is the Abzan or Jund natural order pile. So, earlier in the podcast, I had mentioned Jake's Jund Depths or Jund Lands deck. That deck, well, it got 5 points. Is that right?
Yeah.
Every one of his pointed cards went down, I think.
Yeah. So, and prop rotation too. That didn't come with this one, but it came with the previous points adjustment. So yes, this time last year that deck was 15 points.
Yeah.
Which
the
is
council
wild.
They put their foot on it like a trash can and just like kind of packed down so that we could fit more stuff in it.
Yeah. So in these sort of like green black like grindy rock style decks, having natural order and demonic tutor gives you two very powerful tutors, but also like a lot of the times these decks are just going to maybe exchange 1-for-1 with you, and then they will find one singular card that just slams the door shut, like a Primeval Titan, or out of the Abzan deck, the Atraxa, stuff like that. So having access to all of these powerful tutors, and they still get to play their Vampiric tutors and their Survival of the Fittest, etc. Like this deck, it has gotten so juiced up, and Jake was playing it when it was. He's brought it off and on to FNM several times over the last year, and it's like it just keeps getting more and more and more and more. Like, I honestly, I love to see it. And
Jake proving to not be a one-trick pony. Like he has other, so he's pretty well known for his Naya list, his Naya Kiki Pod list, which also picked up a point off of the birthing pod to 0, which I think was a long time coming. But a lot of people are picking up new decks or old decks in my case because of all these point reductions, and that's really what I'm excited to see. Like
I've been playing a natural order deck myself for a couple months now, and I didn't go the demonic tutor route, but I did. Now I have room for a vamp, where I didn't before, so pretty strict upgrade on the deck.
Yeah.
I also think in the winter category, any of these Sultai piles got a huge boost.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
With the demonic tutor coming down, now they can play demonic tutor. Gifts Ungiven coming down. Often they just want to go and strip mine specifically too. They often just want to play the intuition, grab your Uro, Loam, and whatever land is best for the situation. Now they can kind of double up on it with the Gifts Ungiven, and they've got the demonic tutor to go for the haymakers too. I think these Sultai control decks are probably spiking pretty hard right now.
I think
Surge has to be like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like his baby, right? The Sultai lands deck. Yeah.
Yeah. Fast Bond is like shivering in the corner, going, "Pick me now."
Well, the thing is, like previously these points changes, you weren't seeing a lot of black decks do well in general, and I think black as a color is the real winner, right?
Yes.
Because they're often paired with these blue cards. That are very good. The strip, or the green cards and the strip mine and So I think black as a color is really the winner overall.
Yeah, 100%. You're totally right.
Can I talk to you guys really quickly about one of the cards that I'm really excited about?
Yeah.
And that's just Spellseeker at 2. Means that you can put Spellseeker in a non-time walk deck now.
Yeah, just Value Seeker.
People don't do that enough, do they?
No, Spellseeker. Well, you used to have a list that utilized Spellseeker as sort of a toolbox spell card.
That was Jeremiah, not me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damnation as a card you can get with Spellseeker as either a pinpoint. Yeah, you could either overload it as a board wipe, or you can utilize just the front side of it to pinpoint remove something.
Yeah, it gets Life from the Loam. It gets Reanimate.
Yeah,
it gets all sorts of just insane cards. Just does what you want it to do a lot of the times, but it's a slower tutor.
It's also because of the formation, and this is sort of a weird one, but recently Flash went back to 7. And I think people need to re-examine the Flash Hulk decks again under a Sultai lens.
I had thought about that because when I was looking at this, it's like you said something last year sometime that has stuck with me. And you're like, there's a conspiracy to make Flash Hulk the best deck in the format, always.
Oh, yeah.
And that sticks with me. So every time I see a points adjustment, I'm like, he's right, you know?
Well, they went too far. They went too far. And then Samwise and the Cauldron Familiar were like suddenly, no.
The Flash being 7 points again really kind of like stymies that, right? Like,
well, the deck, the deck needs as few combo pieces in it as possible because you don't want to draw them, and I think we can move away from that particular build, like the control build, and just go for like a creature build where you also have Flash and you can also do cool stuff with Flash.
Yeah, just put it in Atraxa.
Exactly.
Yeah, why not?
Like speaking of the Sultai lists where like you sometimes natural order into Uro, and then you have 2 cards now in your graveyard, including the creature that you killed to recur Uro. You're getting all this additional value out of it. I just like the idea of those lists, and I want to see somebody reimagine Flash as not this like combo deck.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like use it like a show and tell, right?
Very much.
Yeah, or like play it in Oath of Druids or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sick.
That's the only thought I had. Oh, one other thing. Go ahead. 4th Aerolingus, first multicolored card pointed ever.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. You're totally right,
true
though.
facts. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And coming in right after White had its soul pointed card removed. So White technically has a pointed card
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and red too, right?
Breach.
Price of Progress is Underworld Breach. Sure.
Yeah, sorry, man.
The joke is kind of like that 4th is not just a red and white card, it's also a green card, you know.
Yeah, and a blue card.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then, of course, biggest losers are the Jeskai mid-range or Jeskai control deck.
Yeah.
There is this person on the proper Canadian Highlander Discord that plays in the asynchronous or MTGO tournaments and stuff like that. It's just got this insane win rate with Jeskai control.
Oh my god, it's like 90%.
Featuring Ancestral Recall. And we talked about this a lot earlier when we were talking about Ancestral Recall, but it's just Ancestral Recall +3, right? So like there's all these one-pointed blue cards you can play, which is Treasure Cruise, Dig Through Time, Mystical Tutor, etc. And, you know, putting Recall up to 8 limits, you know, the number of selections that they can make without really affecting the diversity at all. But the 4th Aerolingus got the point, which was the card, having cast it several times myself, is like, first of all, the best Fireball ever printed. Not close.
What if Fireball drew you a card and also made you an army?
It ends the game on the spot usually. And in one way or another,
and 1 or 2 turns generally.
It most definitely deserves that point. But yeah, that you know, Jeskai control deck getting +2 points essentially. Really, I don't know how much it nerfed it because I think that's more of a player than a deck thing. But
yeah,
we'll see what happens. I guess
it's also, I think in Victoria proper, their recall lists are pretty like extensive. There's a lot of people just on recall there, right?
Yeah, and whereas in 2023, out of all 32 top 8 decks that made the Lawnlander top 8s, we had one. Yeah. Recall. And out of all 32 decks, there was one recall.
And he didn't end up bringing a recall to the finals, and then he won the finals without recall. Because
when every card in your deck is a 3-mana Ancestral Recall that also attacks or gets loyalty on it, you don't need actual Ancestral Recall.
No. Go ahead, Jay. What were you saying?
So the person in question, you know, that plays, he's in the Discord currently arguing that Jeskai Control is still the best deck you can play in the format, and I don't necessarily think I disagree with him. Time will tell, you know, but he has 2 different point spreads, one for a more aggro-heavy environment, and then one for a more control-heavy, combo-heavy environment. Only the second one has Ancestral in it, you know, so...
that Jake and I were talking about that. I think we said, like, you can choose to play the best deck in the format, Jeskai, or you can have fun.
The thing is the format.
Yeah.
The Canadian Highlander games are so swingy. Like you can play the
Yeah.
best deck in the format, you're still only going to have a 55 or 60% win percentage.
At best.
It's,
At best.
I mean, in Magic, that's a good win percentage.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, time will tell. We'll see. We'll see where it all shakes out. But I'm happy to see Black get a little bit of a boost.
Yeah.
I think if we do see Black start to do well, you'll see these monsters pop right back up and start crushing again.
Sure.
Rule monsters.
Yeah.
It's a natural predator for these decks that just can't keep up with the insane power of 3-4 drops over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a nice shakeup. I hope they continue to shake up things. Where they're not just making just little minute changes. Like I think it's really fun to just see a big long list. Even if it affected me negatively, I would love to just play different decks.
Yeah,
every change is exciting.
I've had more excitement and energy to brew in the last couple of weeks than I've had in at least 6 months, probably. So,
yeah.
I mean, it was definitely an effective strategy as far as I'm concerned.
The point changes add to that, but like the Maple Cup is like part of that too. You know, it's like every week you get a new set of opponents. You know these people. A lot of these people, you know, kind of what they're going to play.
Yeah.
It's an incentive to be like, hey, maybe my matchup's not so good here. Maybe I can tweak things here and there, or you know, play a different deck or whatever. You know,
I think that's totally reasonable. It's also shows how much better the point structure is than bannings or unbannings.
Yeah.
Because everybody still gets to play their deck. Nobody lost a deck. Nothing is banned.
You just have to adapt a little bit.
Just make some small changes, and it's still exciting. And there's no boogeyman to be destroyed, or you know, we're all just kind of feeling things through and enjoying the change. And hopefully, when they change again, we just enjoy it as much.
Yeah, maybe if you're a Thoracle player, you've got a chance now. Maybe it just feels a little bit better, you know?
I don't think anybody has ever registered Thoracle at one of our tournaments.
I played against it at FNM one time and lost, so that's cool.
Well, there's that.
I'd like to see more people playing Black Lotus this year. I'd like to see some people trying Time Vault.
People have played Time Vault decks. There's usually at least one Time Vault deck in our tournament. So yeah.
Time Vaults are fun decks. Those are fun control, like artifact-based control decks. But I want to see more Lotus decks. I just want to see Black Lotus in general come in.
I would love to see more Lotus. I don't particularly need to see it paired with Underworld Breach.
No, I think the most fun I've had with it is just like
that's all.
Turn one, Ranger Captain of Eos, go get my Goblin Welder, cast my Goblin Welder, pass turn.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
that's fun.
Whatever.
Now you have a Black Lotus every turn.
Yeah.
But you just got to be careful what you wish for. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think if Breach went to 4, that's totally fine. If
that was one of the points changes that I suggested, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've seen Black Lotus cast more in a single game than I did the entire rest of the year. At some point, you know.
See that?
And those games are mercifully short, though.
Kind of.
Not as short as you'd like.
No. I mean, I tune out way ahead of time. To be fair, I just sit there like with my mana untapped, like maybe I'm gonna do something.
Maybe I'll cast what is it? Zeator's Charm.
Riveteer's Charm.
Riveteer's Charm. Yep.
Yeah. You have savaged some people with that card. I've watched you do it.
That's very good.
Yeah.
I don't know how good it is, but nobody ever sees it coming.
Dude, the card's insane. It's an edict.
The surprise factor.
It's graveyard hay and it's an ancestral.
Yeah.
Like those are the 3 modes. It's insane.
It is very good.
Oh, so yeah.
Anything else, guys?
No, I've really enjoyed this week. It's been or the last week. It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed the matches and doing commentary and everything.
Excellent. All right. Well, if you made it to the end, you're just the best. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn notifications on so that we get to alert you every time we upload a video. And as always, we just want to remind you that
we're proud of you.
Bye.
Later.